Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to War in the Soul City, Episode 11. After a night of mingling for Dana, of finding more information for the rest of the crew, our dig team went to sleep once more. And tonight is a rainy night. All of them having their thoughts during the day sleep about the things that have come up as questions during the evening's affairs. Malice having spent time with his brother. Dana being cornered in an elevator with her sire. Let's get the thoughts of these kindred about what's going on, what they plan to do, and, well, the implications of some of the things that have been said to them. And we'll start with Ken, the youngest member of this coterie, possibly in age and in length of time with them. A young man having been embraced in the anarch movement and betrayed his own sire to earn protection, feeding, companionship. What are the thoughts going through your mind, Ken, as you wake this evening after the day's sleep ends? Oh, you're muted. I don't hear you.
I forgot that I muted myself to make sure that I didn't interrupt your monologue. At this point, Ken, he's just trying to stay above water. He's not sure how he fits into the coterie and if he ever will. He's just trying to find a place that he can survive. He's worried about losing control and doesn't want that ever to happen again, but he's just generally worried.
Well, if your sire was a wise woman, then she would have told you that it's not about if, but it's when you lose control. And what you do in the aftermath that makes the difference. Whether that means you'll survive or whether that means that will be your head. And then we have Rodney, our little sneaky information gathering quirk of a man.
Yes.
What are some of the thoughts plaguing you during your day sleep?
Took Ken to meet some friends, some allies, some of those on the street. He seemed to make a good impression. Not something that I would expect from one of his. But he did not insult them, which was good. Very good. Though I have to keep him still at an arm's length. I don't know enough about him. Not yet, not yet. As for everything else, I've spent the last few nights looking for birds, bats, things that I can talk to convince to tell me what's happening in Flowwood, but there's not that many at all. I may have to approach one of my own for assistance. I have somebody in mind, but whether she's amenable to such things, another story. And then there was the alarming information that I received from my friend. I must talk to the rest of the coterie about this. It is something for us to keep an eye on, I think. Perhaps. Yes. Yes.
Yes, with everyone having gotten in so late last night, it was very hard to sit everyone down and have a conversation. But tonight, first thing, might be a better option. And then there's Malice, who's only just recently learned that his brother, twin brother, aging twin brother, is having a bit of a falling out with his wife and has maybe turned to drinking as a result.
Malice has a lot of thoughts and concerns on his mind. Bastion being first and foremost. He wants to help his brother. His brother just wants him to stay out of everything. Other than taking up parents and letting them know his presence is still there. And then there's Joseph and Willow and what's going on there. Can he begin to investigate, track them down? Doesn't know where to start with that. On top of that, the information dropped by Mr. Collins to Ponce last night about Dana.
Hello?
Okay. Let's see. Oh. information that Jacques dropped about Dana. A bit concerning. Implications of her involvement, knowledge of the Anarchs.
Called her an Anarch sympathizer.
The fairly contained rage and almost frenzy that Dana seemed to have for the Fury. Touchy subject at best. Well, that's not the first time Malice has seen that kind of expression on her face. And, investigating that's going to be a bit tricky at best. Not going to go to Dana at all. Similar responses would only succeed in making sure she frenzies. Just to hide that. Then there's Mercy. Gone a lot. Don't see her too much these evenings. Hardly around anymore. Not sure what to make of it. What her plans are. Or what she intends to do with any of the information that we've gathered or garnered from anything that's been going on these past few evenings since the ball.
A lot weighing on your mind, Mr. Mallows. And then there's Dana. The beauty of the group. The charmer. The one with eloquent words. Who nearly lost her cool in front of a Tremere. What are your thoughts waking up this evening, Dana? Given that conversation you had with Austin in the elevator.
I'm gonna fuck that guy with a broom handle right up his ass next time he talks to me.
Crude.
Well, Sire said oftentimes I gotta be myself. Well, I can only do that in my most private of moments and in my own thoughts. Fact of the matter is that while I end up talking with the eloquence expected of the court, and of course to end up placating the cam, every cape that decides to end up being around, well, I'll play the game. That's all it is. As far as who I am and what I do, that I have to keep all bottled up, locked up, and kept to my own devices. So, unfortunately, that's just the way it's gonna have to be. But
Otherwise, such things could bite you in the ass.
well, trying to think on that inevitability, and I'm not ready for it. I know that. Oftentimes I'm left to wonder, though. Yeah, just brains all puttering away, trying and figuring out exactly how to end up playing this, but we got bigger problems, namely the Anarchs and them seeming to be all up in lockstep. That's just not good.
Who could they be running under, you wonder?
Definitely a wonder. Told the right people what was going down. Hopefully they're going to make a move pretty soon. Be honest, I'm not willing to end up sticking my neck out unless I can get a guarantee on this, but I want to end up making sure that it works. And I'm just... There's something inside me that just wants to get out, and I'm waiting for it. waiting for that opportunity.
Boy, would it feel nice to lash out with some of that anger.
Yeah, but I gotta be the pretty little face to this disgusting little coterie of ours. Because we got a bunch of individuals where, well, to be honest, they're Agatha, they're corpse fuckers. And then I have to end up dealing with Kenny. And Kenny is... I'm sure this is pot and kettle, but for all I know, he's a plant in the Anarchs. He's saying all the right things. Certainly. Isn't it just so perfect to make me open up? Even of the same clan, how about that? You ever feel like you're just staring at the apple that Eve ended up biting into? Yeah, that's what I think he's trying to be. So I'm a little bit more cautious of that little snake in the grass. So now that I'm stuck between that and a pair of corpse fuckers, then there's Liv, who's my, well, tries to play the big sister, but let's be real with ourselves. She's the noose around my neck. She's the leash. She's the one who's looking at me whenever I think about going sideways. She's there to pull it and potentially take my head off with it. And of course, then there's Rodney, who always has that winning smile and stench. And in this little cavalcade of, well, a sad joke, somehow we gotta operate together and end up playing nice enough to get something done. We're looking after a domain after all. We are the bulwark, we are the retaining wall, we're the thing that's supposed to be the line between the Anarchs and the rest of the Camarilla. I think I was put here specifically in the hopes that I'll be off at any given moment, and, well, you know, that doesn't bother me that much, really. If I get the chance to scratch their eyes out in the process, well, payback's a bitch, so am I.
And who knows? Maybe there is an afterlife. What you wouldn't give to get to see some of those old friends of yours again.
Let's be honest, if there's a heaven, I ain't going. And that was before I died the first time. I try not to think about that religious mumbo-jumbo bullshit. We got now, and that's all we got. I think most of the vampires we end up having to deal with are all blowhards, and they got their own myths and mythologies and things that make it, oh, well, eternity's not going to be that bad. Or at the very least, you know, some are at least honest about it. We're damned. Or in modern vernacular, we're fucked.
The prince couldn't have said it better himself. But I would like the dig crew to all make rouse checks. As Ken, you are the first to rise, being that you were the most human of your coterie. Is there anything you do before your cohorts wake?
I'd probably go out looking for something to eat.
Yes, because that gnawing in the pit of your stomach is vicious this evening. And just as the sun goes down, you make your way out into the hotel in the domain proper. So if you're intending to feed on your own, you can make a feeding roll.
Which is persuasion, manipulation?
Manipulation, persuasion. And your difficulty is going to be 4 because you do have a restriction for the non-consenting. To find exactly what you're looking for is kind of lucky.
Oh, I will try to re-roll that.
Or you could succeed at a cost.
The devil's in the details. Do I get to know the cost?
You're gonna kill somebody again. Let's just keep it at average.
Wasn't what I was thinking exactly, no. I was thinking just an aggravated willpower.
And what does that mean?
Which means you
In
put an
game.
X in a willpower box, and you can't heal it unless you fulfill a desire or move towards your ambition.
Okay.
That's how it works mechanically. But that would be the cost for being able to feed it on exactly who you're wanting.
Okay, I will do that then.
What is your hunger currently? 3?
3.
Okay. You find yourself with, luckily, someone else who shares a similar taste for a bite as a couple of others that you've had in the past. You begin to wonder if these people run in the same circles. But that's a fleeting thought as the coppery taste washes over your tongue and that sweet, delicious life force becomes part of you. So, let's see if there's a resonance to it. No. It tastes good. It tastes full of life. But there's no interesting flavor to this vintage. This person seems to be rather well put together.
Am I able to go down to 1?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Or you could always take the whole thing.
No, we won't do that again. Not willingly.
Just thought I'd put the temptation on the table.
Oh, it's always in the back of his head. But he doesn't want to.
And just as you're coming back to the rest of the bunker, the others of you have awakened. Liv included. Doing some last minute checks on some equipment that she's putting together before heading out on her normal rounds.
As Rodney emerges, he will actually approach Liv.
Oh, God. Okay. Right. Hi, Rodney.
Hi. I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
With your rounds and whatnot, you do check the southern portion of our domain. Yes, on your rounds.
Yes, pretty regularly.
Have you heard anything pertaining to gangs, shootings, the likings of that?
I'm aware of it, but so far as I can tell, it's just the usual. There's nothing particularly special about it, nothing kindred about it. Why?
Could I ask you to keep a close eye on that? It's so much so that my information network has caught wind of it and is concerned of going in that direction. So I'm worried that it may be kindred related ramping up.
Huh.
And you are the best person to speak to about that, I think.
Well, I am the closest thing to a sniper that we have in our little group, I think.
Yes, yes. Your skills are very good, very good.
Have you actually seen me in action, Rodney?
I've seen you practice. That's more than enough for me, thank you. But
if it wasn't for the stench, you'd be cute. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. But yes, my information network has mentioned gangs, particularly near the airport, south side and east of Flowwood, and so if you could keep an eye on our border, that would be fantastic.
The southern airport is part
A
of...
bit further.
Yeah, it's just part of Hound Quint's rounds.
Yes, yes. But I would like you to keep an eye on our southern border, just in case.
More so than anything else.
Yes, well, if you see anything maybe potentially leaking into our own domain, that could be a problem.
Of course, I know this domain inside and out, like the back of my hand.
Yes, yes. I just thought it a wise thing to bring it to you.
Oh, don't worry. If something were to escalate to that particular level of engagement, I would absolutely make sure that the Hound knows.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Now I'm now going to talk to the others. Make sure that everybody is aware, I think.
Rodney, why do you stutter so much? I'm streaming.
That's a question. I do not know how to answer that.
You just seem so nervous all the time. It's not necessarily like your normal tick. You're more nervous when you're in front of me and Dana. Just thought I'd point that out.
Yes, well, pretty dangerous women make me very nervous. I'ma just go that way. Yes, 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 I'm going this way. And he starts walking away.
Okay, bye. What the fuck was that about? And Liv goes back to finishing what she was doing and getting packed up and ready to leave.
That was not a good conversation. Not a good question. I don't like that.
And Charles just kind of like rubs his face up against your cheek.
You understand, Charles. Yes, yes. And Rodney gives him a scratch.
And he's happily accepts the scritch, and you are left to interact with the rest of your coterie as you see fit, Mr. Drummonds.
He will wait for the others to kind of come out so that he can address them and talk to them all at once. He just wanted to catch Liv before Liv disappeared to do her rounds. Because she doesn't normally wait. She just goes.
She just goes. And before long, Malice and Dana, you do emerge from your own sleeping quarters, and Ken is present.
Good evening.
On my evening. What's going on, Rodney?
I had hoped to catch everybody before we all went off to do our own things.
I was looking around. With the exception of possibly Liv, who isn't here yet.
Sorry,
Okay.
it took me a little longer to get things settled before I came down. Why is everybody getting quiet all of a sudden?
That's my thing that I'm wondering too.
You are the one that wanted to talk to us, though.
Yes. Dana is present, isn't she? Oh no.
Yeah, she is.
Ken came with me yesterday to speak to my allies, and I've spoken to Liv already. There are some gang skirmishes happening on the south side near to the airport and east of Flowwood. I've asked Liv to keep an eye on the south border a little bit more closely, just in case things start to overflow into our domain. But I thought it best to keep everybody in the know where that is concerned.
So the information you have is on our hound Spencer Quinn's domain, right?
Yes.
Well, if he says something to me, I'll take care of it.
It might be worth keeping an eye on that. That's all.
If there's anybody who's most likely to do so, I would think that would be you, Rodney. Seems like your kind of stomping grounds.
Yes. Many eyes make much easier, is all.
We can't all be in the same place at the same goddamn time, no.
But if everybody has their own ways of getting information, it is just, if you hear anything.
We'll keep you informed.
Yes. This is awkward.
You're the one making it awkward. Just spit it out, whatever you want to say.
I have said. I'm going to go visit one of my own clan tonight, so I'm just going to go and do that. Yes.
Watch yourself out there, Rodney.
You too. Yes. Yeah, yes.
Always be watching your back.
Just presumed I ended up putting a sappy statement here of concern of your well-being and move along like it was a good thing.
What bee
Sure.
crawled up your ass and made a nest?
This is Dana's first turn face.
Sorry, I didn't mean nothing by it.
Is there anything else particularly pressing tonight?
I asked what is everybody else's plans for the evening.
I have a bar to operate, and I haven't ended up spending the past few nights there, as recent events have taken me away from it. Since nothing in particular is pressing or trying to blow down our doors right now, I figured I'd end up spending some time on some, proper affairs, and really end up spending time in a place where I don't feel like I'm slowly losing my mind. The unfortunate part is that Kenny's on shift.
I got nothing going on tonight. Except the
I
usual.
got a little side project maybe you want to help me with.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I got nothing else to do except the rounds.
Alright, well.
Is that it?
Guess
I
everybody,
mean, is that the dead crew huddle?
What passes for it?
guess it is.
I always thought these team building exercises were supposed to go longer.
If you're actually trying to build a team, they are.
I'm trying to build a team, but it's a bit hard when nobody else wants to be part of it.
I do my
Hey,
job,
Rod,
and I end up supporting you as is needed.
And I appreciate that.
Everything else is just foreplay. And bluntly, I don't have the kind of time for that.
Hey, Rodney, I left a surprise for you.
Oh,
Is it still floating in the bowl?
That's disgusting.
Not that kind of surprise, Dana, no. You'll find it in your errand on the top stack. Most likely in the place you told me not to leave anything, but you'll know it when you see it.
oh, right. Right. I will go look at that now. And Rodney goes to look around for this stack.
It'll be the first stack once you get into your wearing, on the very top. Large legal type manila envelope. Got the cord on the back. Has it together.
Right, got you. I think.
That boy ain't right.
Which, if any of us is, Mercy.
I suppose you got a point. Alright. Well, what are we getting up to, Malice?
If everybody else has stepped away, we got someplace we need to go check out.
I'm
The
following.
river.
I'm following you.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to go check out something on the river.
And she's walking
You know
walking with you outside of the hotel. What do you mean the river?
No. River.
Yeah, what about it?
You have a place there?
Yeah, what about it? I'm there every night.
I'm not. What you been up to these evenings? I don't see you that often.
Been busy. You know, the hounds
Finally.
essentially got me working for him at this point.
Well, there's that little matter you for him. Maybe he's training you.
Training
He
me?
sees potential.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. You're talking like there's some kind of moving up going on here. Ain't none of that here for me. I'm just here
I
to
don't
do a
know, man.
job, Malice.
Yeah, we all got jobs to do.
And I'm good at
Keeping
mine.
the anarchs out of this domain being one of them.
Are you saying... Are you thinking I'm not doing my part around here?
That's not what I said at all, Mercy.
I don't know what you're getting at.
Don't see you that often no more. Ashton brought that up last night too.
How's he doing?
No, well. Seems that he and Therese have hit a bit of a rough patch.
Fuck.
Drinking a lot more than usual.
Fuck.
Like to see us before the month's out. I tried talking to him and all he did was make him angrier. Oh.
You never were very good at, being the type to cry on a shoulder for.
No, but I can try. He's still accusing me of dyeing my hair and my beard, but guess that's to be expected.
Malice, you don't even have a wrinkle on your face and he's got crow's feet. What do you think is going on there?
It's not a thought, it's...
He's aging, you're not.
Yeah. I don't know how aware of that he is.
Well, he must not be paying attention none because I can see it. But I know what I'm looking for. Eventually he's gonna catch on, though.
Yeah, I'd like to find a way to prevent that, because that'd be a major masquerade breach, and I can't have that. I'm with Bastion.
Eventually, you and I both are gonna have to go to some kind of lengths where we can't even see him again.
I'm aware. And it seems to approach ever closer every night. Still this side of the grave. But, yeah. Ben was upset. She made a C.
Girl's smarter than that. What's going on?
I tried to talk to Bass about it and wasn't too forthcoming. But I was just trying to interrogate him.
I don't know, maybe he'll
Seems
warm
it
up
has
to me or some shit.
Seems it has to do with one of her math classes was all I got.
Hmm.
I don't know which one, but I did tell her that I'd be over more often. At least the two to my niece. If I could help her out.
So what is it we're going? You said we're going to the house. What you looking for at the
Yeah.
house?
Being that it's in Anarch territory, I want to make sure Joseph ain't been around. Make sure ain't nobody else been in the house but you and me. Anarch's moving together all as one. Got Dana awful nervous. Got a lot of other folks in the city awful nervous.
And you don't think that I'd know that if it was true?
I'm not saying that you wouldn't. I'm just saying there's other
Then
things
why aren't you
that
dang asking me, Malice? You ain't asked me a damn straight question yet.
I hadn't asked a question yet.
You want to go to the house assuming that somebody's been there peeping on shit?
There's a side of us that you shun, that I have access to, that you don't. Maybe I see something you don't. That's all. I'm not saying you can't do what you do.
I'm talking about that
Wouldn't have made
hoogie
it as
boogie
a
shit.
paramedic without the, wouldn't have made it paramedic without your observational skills, but there's still a way for me to see that you can't. That's all I was saying.
Alright, I'll stop arguing with you about it.
Yeah, I'm just a bit touchy after the conversation with Bass last night.
Well, what about it was touchy? Aside
Attitude.
He's always giving you attitude. What's new about that?
They're telling me that I can stop asking questions or I can fucking leave was a bit abrasive. Eventually leave shit alone and I'm alright. Keep digging and get the fuck out.
Yeah, but how was you digging?
I was just asking questions about things that could be done. He and Therese were willing.
Did he ask you for help?
No, I was offering. I offered maybe have you or me come over and stay with Savannah a little bit and give them some time together to figure shit out.
You want to play therapist?
Like I said, I tried talking to my brother, but that was it.
Maybe you should let him come to you asking you for help.
Most likely.
Because
Really
then
didn't
maybe
go over there to dig.
maybe he's actually willing at that point.
Really didn't go over to dig. I just comments about observations. So that's what led down that rabbit hole.
Malice, you're an autopsy specialist.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that you're gonna ask questions. Everybody knows that you're gonna ask them in the most clinical way possible. We all know that. Anyway, you said let's get to the house. Let's go to the house.
Yeah. I'm still headed that way.
Now, are you walking with Mercy or are you driving?
Well, the conversation was walking. I was walking to either her or my vehicle.
Okay, both would be there.
I'm assuming they're not far apart.
No, not really.
Want to drive?
Sure, I'll drive. My vehicle's been seen going in and out of that house more than yours has, so it might not be
figure.
super suspicious.
Yeah. That's why I asked if you wanted to drive. I figure if you're going every night, somebody's watching.
Somebody's gonna watch that house.
I mean, somebody's watching the watcher. That's what I meant.
I know what you meant.
I mean, seeing as how we both had a hand to play in Magdalene's demise, Joseph ain't none too happy, and after the events the other night at the warehouse, imagine he's stepping things up fairly checking the perimeter and security of his own domain, trying to keep us out of it, I guess.
Magdalene
don't imagine
created those tunnels leading into the house for a reason.
I'm aware. And I can't imagine that he hadn't told at least one other kindred in his area. Can't imagine he'd keep that secret all to himself.
Sorry, which secret is that?
I said, I can't imagine that he's kept that secret entirely to himself, knowing what she has stored in the house.
I'm not quite following. Which secret is that?
Where the house is.
Oh.
Whose house it might have been. Whose it might be now.
Right.
I was at the warehouse. I was there with Willa.
Yeah, I heard about that. What all happened with that?
Kenny and I went to go check it out. As we were trying to get in, she shows up out of nowhere. Puts herself in the big middle of it. Can't exactly tell her no. She's got her own business, her own plans being there. Something spooked her. Something freaked her the fuck out. And as soon as she freaked out, Joseph was on her. He knew. He nearly took Kenny out too.
Fuck.
I don't know exactly what it is. I heard Magdalene talk about it. It's a way that they have of fucking with our blood, making us hungrier. Very hungry.
Like being in the presence of them just makes you hungry, right?
It's something that they can do, yeah.
Some kind of
They
hooky
ain't the
boogy
only one.
nonsense, much like, I don't know, much like what you can
Yeah.
do.
Similar paths, not the same type of execution, though. They're drawing on something, if I understood Magdalene right, comes from their blood. They use their blood for the magic. I'm drawing on something that really ain't supposed to exist, at least not in this world.
Hmm.
Not too many are keen to find out what the void holes contains or can be used for. I'm told if you go too deep, it consumes you.
Yeah, you be careful with that shit.
I'm as careful as I can be.
That shit comes out of like whatever something or other that you conjure, and it swallows you up. I'll never forgive you. I'll come to hell and I'll come find you and I'll beat the fucking shit out of you.
If you want to know more about it, you could ask one of the Harbingers. Told they spent time in that place. They'd know more about it than I would. I just know how to manipulate it.
I ain't touching none of that.
You ain't got to. I'll do that. You got other things you're better at than I am.
Damn rights. And she gets in the driver's seat and buckles herself in and gets the car ready to drive out to the little shack on the river. That leaves Ken behind and Dana. So what are the two of you going to be up to?
Well, I already ended up saying that I was gonna have to end up heading out to the armory. I expect Ken to be on shift at that given point because, well, I haven't been seen for quite some time. And Kenny Boy still needs his training, as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully, Ted's on shift. I haven't even checked the schedule.
Oh, falling behind, proprietress.
This is. I've spent more time in these past few nights in this hotel room, not even the hotel, this room, than I have in the armory. And I don't even want to guess what's going to shit. Persia's probably still going to be in a panic because Ted just ended up offing the backup singer and bass player because he's having a bit of a spat. I have to end up making sure that the drink orders are fulfilled. I got to end up seeing what the hell broke down this week. And, I'm kind of grateful. I'm kind of grateful that for once I get to end up pretending for at least 5 minutes that I can end up being a normal human being. Call it preserving the masquerade. I think it's one of the few delicacies we're afforded in this unlife anymore. And honestly, at this point, the entire Camarilla Anarch thing has gotten to a point where that's all I see, that's all I hear about. Honestly, a mystery where I'm supposed to end up knowing the answer and not spoil it. I'm just gonna end up calling that a break. It's like having an audiobook that plays out right in front of you. I can't believe that I'm going to be excited over the mundane points of filling out order forms. But at this point, I just want to spend some time at my bar, some time in the offense. Hope somebody good has been lined up since I've been gone. And hopefully Jeb is not going to give me too large of a headache over this whole thing, which is inevitable. You know what? I'll be glad when this is all over and I have a sense of rhythm to play to again.
But in that case, the both of you heading to the Armory, Rodney heading towards the Warrens to get in touch with some of his own kin, Malice and Mercy heading towards the shack on the river. We will start with our good friend Rodney. Now, Rodney, you know the ins and outs, the ups and downs, and the sideways tunnels that make up the underneath of the city. You know that many of your kin sleep down here. In these winding tunnels, in these alcoves, in the warrens of the Soul City.
Yes, and the particular kindred that I'm looking for, she's somebody that owes me. Somebody I helped with her own hideaway. Yes. Whether she will be pleased to see me or not is another thing. But she owes me, and I will see if she can pay that now. Rodney makes his way through, carefully picking his way through, not willing to disturb any kindred that he's not wanting to talk to right now. He's specifically looking for Agatha.
You know that Agatha spends a good portion of her time seeing others of your kin. She's older. She's often found in the Warrens. Very seldomly does she actually go topside these nights. And so you keep yourself out of sight. You don't see very many of your kin down here, but that's pretty typical, as most of them, unless they want to be seen, won't be seen. But ultimately you are met with Agatha, the Wormtongue, child of Sheriff Galvin, your cousin, in a sense. Or
Both of us
great
go
aunt,
tests.
kind of thing.
Yes.
And she smiles with that toothy grin, that very flat nose and long, spindly ears, a kind of cowl draped over her head, kind of playing into the old sagely witch kind of vibe. Some even call her the old witch.
One with great skill.
She often has symbols of protection and the odd herbs and potions. You don't even know what it is that she does with any of these things, but it all smells very, very much like a crystal shop. In her little hidey hole down here in the Warrens. And she smiles brightly at you and kind of flings her long, spindly arms open and approaches you as if she was going to hug you. My dear Rodney.
Good evening, Agatha. How are you this evening?
I'm
He
well.
greets her with his nervous
Sorry, what was that?
He kind of greets her with his own nervous grin. One of the few places that he doesn't have to wear the coverings over his face.
Mm-hmm. One of the few places that your kind can openly be seen. As this is tucked away from far beyond where any mortal has ever reached.
He kind of awkwardly moves to offer her a side hug. It's a strange gesture from him because he doesn't usually come into physical contact with people, but it's to be polite.
And she obliges you, and she kind of takes your hat from your head and hangs it up on a hook of some kind that's got some like sage hanging from it. And kind of just hangs it up kind of nonchalantly there, and kind of then goes to pet your head as one would a very young grandchild of sorts, even though she's not technically your grandmother.
He kind of dips his head to make it slightly easier for her. She kind of gets away with more with him than anybody else really would.
How are you tonight, my darling?
I'm well. However, I do come with questions.
Of course you do.
Yes.
Come sit.
Yes. He obliges and moves to where she gestures.
And she
Okay.
has this tiny little table set up with 2 chairs that she's got place settings set for, but doesn't really use for dining per se. You're not entirely sure what her dining habits are, but it's a place to sit.
He doesn't. He just kind of folds himself into the seat. Kind of knees up around his chin, sort of a thing.
And the chairs are mismatched. They don't go together.
I was wondering. I have need of access to an information network into the flow domain. But the animals refuse to go near.
Yes, that would cause a bit of a hurdle, I'm sure. As it's caused a hurdle amongst my circles as well. I completely understand that, knowing what's going on there is important, given our prince's decree that our anarch brethren are to be purged.
Yes, and my own domain with my own group is resting directly on the border, so it is imperative that I keep an eye on the goings on.
Of course.
I was looking at the populations of bats and birds. They all tend to keep their distance from me. I was wondering if perhaps you had access to those kinds of beings.
Let's see. I would want that kind of access just for, what, eyes on everything?
Yes, bird's eye view or a bat's eye view, if you would catch my drift.
Well, you could regularly come to me with those kinds of questions.
Yes. That was the thought.
It's only a matter of what I want in return, yes?
Yes, yes.
Small errands, now and again.
I think I can do that.
Or equal value information, of course. 'Cause I don't know what you know. But I know what I know. So what do you know, Mr. Drummond?
On the subject.
On any subject.
I know a variety of bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces are not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for whole puzzle pieces. A jagged corner here, a torn piece of paper there. That's not what I need.
You need chunks of information.
I want to know what chunks of information you know.
ST, what chunks of information does Rodney?
Well,
It's very hard for me to narrow that down.
what do you, as a player, think that Agatha would be interested in knowing? Given that she maybe knows a lot.
What's her usual? So her usual area is
Her usual
underground.
area of expertise is the goings-on and the politics of the different kindred. That seems to be her strong suit. That seems to be what she always wants to know in regards to conversations you've had with her in the past. And so maybe
So she's more of a political kindred than a street level kindred.
fairly, yeah.
So she would tend to probably be more interested in the goings on of the court.
That's one assumption, yeah.
So she probably want to know a bit about goings on the court, or maybe even want to fill in some knowledge on the street level that she doesn't necessarily have, because that's more Rodney's specialty.
Given how old you are, you would assume that might be a fair trade.
Yeah. I can hand you information that I find from street level goings on around the domains that I can find out.
Well, what do you know now? I might know something you need. You never know. You came down here with a purpose, Mr. Drummond.
I did.
So tell me what your purpose is.
My purpose is to gain access to the skies above Flowwood to see where movement is happening the most.
You want information on the Anarchs.
Yes.
I might just know a couple of these bird's eye views that you're talking about. I tend to specialize in kindred goings-on. I know what it is when I see it.
Yes.
And I do see it.
I have no doubt.
So if you want my eyes on the Flowwood, what do you offer in return?
Eyes on the streets of the Camarilla domain.
Do you have a sampling of what you offer? I trust that you are a very good person at finding the little nitpicky things for, you know, this and that. You tend to be a hoarder. I've seen your room. It's a right mess.
Much to my coteries' dismay. But I assure you it does come in handy.
I'm sure it does.
The
Sheriff,
seems to be dealing with a lot in the southern domains. At the
The hounds, yes. The sheriff himself is very much concerned with our prince's safety, of course, and has been weeding out the random little rats that maybe get a little too close.
around the airport.
Now what
a
are we
lot of
talking?
movement.
We're talking about the smaller airport.
One in the south.
Well, the south side of the city. I believe that is,
The Jackson International Airport.
yes, I believe that Mr. Quinn is the one overseeing that particular portion of the city, if I recall correctly.
Yes, indeed.
And you,
Such movement that even my human eyes have caught wind.
how intriguing. And what have you found out about this little uprising, or whatever it is that you think it is?
Weeks looking into it.
I see. Well, a hunch for a hunch. What is your hunch in regards to this little thing?
That perhaps the Anarchs are moving to take a space of movement.
Perhaps they would like us cut off from
International Maria assistance.
Yes, the airport would be one method to bring in a reinforcements, as it were, of a kind fashion, but often our kindred brethren don't travel by such means. At least not in my opinion.
Seems to me that it could be a way as well to funnel blood to the unarmed. That is what seems to be what they lack the most. Blood.
Yes, I believe that's on purpose. If you starve out an animal, it might leave to go elsewhere, and then it's no longer our problem.
though it seems to have had the opposite effect. Much to Prince's chagrin.
Well, we must trust our beloved prince's decisions.
Of course. It is hunch for a hunch.
You cut out, what was that?
But a hunch for a hunch. That is my hunch.
That is your hunch.
Well,
That
and
is-
this is my hunch. And he points to his hunch.
Quite the funny little boy.
I do try.
You do entertain me so, Rodney. I enjoy that. My hunch is that the Anarchs are gathering under a gangrel. A gangrel named Colin Thresh. It's been a thorn in the sides of the Camarilla since about the time this city was founded.
Thresh. Believe I've heard that name before.
You should have. He used to be a member of the court, and then suddenly decided he didn't want to be anymore.
Yes. Him
Prince.
and Gregory Ballon. Joseph.
Ah, seems you do know quite a number of names of the Anarchs.
And yes.
And yes, they have buried themselves in little holes in that Flowwood domain, and while no one can track them down and pin them down in their exact locations, they're always moving, always watching, always skulking. It is believed that when Prince Calhoun came and declared that he would be creating Jackson as a city, that Thresh and his ilk took exception to it. Either Thresh would become a member of the court or be barricaded behind a wall. So, they joined the Camarilla for a while but eventually got sick of it. Or so the rumor goes.
You said no that nobody seems to be able to pin down their exact location.
Yes.
Has anybody thought perhaps the reservoir might be a central location for them?
That is a thought, and that is a theory, but I have a different theory.
Different theory.
That one of our own, who's been taught by our great sheriff of the gifts that our bloodline carries as far as knowing the stability and security of a structure, that is maybe what's going on. But that is a hunch.
I did make a foray into the Anak territory.
How brave of you. Or
Or
stupid.
stupid. Yes. I lean more towards stupidity. I had the unfortunate circumstance of running into a woman who seemed to have a connection with the alligators around the reservoir.
Ah. Then that one must be a child of Thresh. A gangrel.
She was certainly not one of ours.
Well, I was going to say, if they're not one of ours.
Would it be possible for a gangrel to learn the skills of our own?
It's always possible. The blood works in mysterious ways. And can manifest different things for different kindred.
Need to have something in your throat, Agatha.
Yes. It is possible for any kindred to learn just about anything if they taste of another's blood. Some things must be explicitly taught, but if given enough time and enough tastes, perhaps it can spontaneously manifest. I've never seen such a thing, but there's always
You're
something new.
I have just had a thought, and it is a concerning one. You are quite familiar with our own ilk, yes?
Of course.
Has anybody gone missing recently? As in within the last year or so?
No,
No.
I keep very close tabs on all of our kin.
When I had my foray, she had told me that they would be keen to take me to consume me. Quite upsetting.
Yes, it's taboo. Should never do it.
I wonder if any of ours have been caught in such a way. That would be concerning.
If they have, it's worthy of the rage of our kin. I don't condone diablerie. It is the quickest way to destroy yourself.
Well, yes.
I don't imagine it would be good. I mean, when we were mortal, cannibalism was not considered a good thing to indulge in. And,
This goes beyond cannibalism, Rodney. It's not simply eating the flesh, it is devouring the soul.
Oh. Oh.
You remove a piece of your own to make fit for someone else's. And by doing so, you chip away at who you are. Every day in this life is already a chip at your soul. Every day in this existence, you lose a tiny piece of yourself. If you willingly remove that piece of yourself, you quickly become an animal. I've seen many animal kindred in my life. I do not wish that for my family.
Me either.
Good. You would be wise to heed my words.
Thank you so much, Agatha. I have filled in a few pieces for me. You have given me quite a lot to consider.
Well, you have done so much for me in kind.
Feel free to call on me if you ever need anything. I will gladly assist if I can.
Should this little house need any maintenance, I'll need to know who to call. My little handyman.
But if I can assist with anything else as well, I will come to it.
Well, of course.
Begins to stand up.
And
Come on, John.
she gets up as well and gives you a little pat on your head again and pulls what looks like a small little, like, flower crown, but it's long dead, and sets it on your head.
He just gives her a smile.
Thanks for the game.
Be well, and be safe.
And you, Agatha. And you.
And with that, we are going to take a very quick break. So don't go anywhere, everyone. We are going to catch up with Malice and Mercy and Dana and Ken here in a few moments. Welcome back, everyone, to War in the Soul City, episode 11. we rejoin the dig crew, or part of it anyway, with Dana and Ken visiting the Armory, the little rock bar that Dana has nestled into, and made her little home away from home here in Jackson. Right now, there's a backup band playing. Ted is at the bar, doing his usual serving of drinks, cleaning of glasses, ordering the bar back around. The usual. Persian is sitting at the bar, texting on her phone, it looks like. Looking a little frustrated. But otherwise, the patrons of the bar are few and far between. It seems that this band that has kind of replaced Persians for the moment isn't necessarily the vibe that the crowd is looking for. And so some of your late night patrons who usually are here until closing time have since said their goodnights and have moved on for the moment. Which means less money in Persian's pocket. That could only add to her frustration, I'm sure.
I'm absolutely sure.
Ken, this place is not what you would expect of a Toreador. You are a man of refinement, of the finer things like silks and nice jackets and fine jewelry and things of that sort, but this place is everything but that. It's grunge. It's metal. It's exposed pipes and air ducts. It's a bar which the aesthetic looks like it has class rings on it. You're not sure if that's on purpose or if that's on accident. But you find this place to be uncomfortable. But Dana, this is home.
My own little slice of heaven, so to speak. I make it a point to mingle with very much some of the patrons. Of course, I'm taking notes about the current sound. I myself try and hide my disappointment. But it is what it is. I'm also here busy just going over everything, trying to end up getting in stock, making sure that the counts are right as far as stuff I'm concerned with, inventory and what have you. Double checking the numbers. I wish I had enough time to go through receipts, but that is just a time-consuming motion, and I don't think I'm about to have that much time to do so. The receipts can wait, at least for this moment. The big thing is to make sure operations are going and making sure Kenny Boy doesn't fuck that up. On occasion, I keep an eye on Ted, seeing how he's doing, though it's partially the facade that we both agree to play. Persian, I keep an eye on. Of course, she's willing to end up coming to me any time. I'm more than pleased to end up spending some time with her. I also end up needing to end up hearing the news on the streets. I try not to press and arouse suspicion by prying particular questions, but I do have to end up making sure that I end up making enough time and enough inquiry in order to hopefully hear about something that may be attached to the Anarch movement. At least in the Kind's perspective, or something that may be attributed. Nice part about grunge bars is you get all kinds, and staying in the underground circuits certainly helps, as that's definitely the choice place for most anarchs, at least those of the Brewhaw, and occasionally those city-dwelling gangrel types. Let's be honest here. As much as maybe the old guard would have appreciated it, nowadays, a lot of the anarch movement is all aesthetic.
So it is. But Persian finally just turns off her phone and just kind of runs her fingers through her hair for a moment, watching as you're kind of toiling away at the usual grunt work of your evening. She doesn't want to disturb you, but you can
She's
definitely
clearly signaling that she needs to talk.
You've had talks like this with her several times before. Band members quit and all.
There. I make it a point after finishing up what is the accounts of Hennessy before I end up putting my little notepad away. Instead of walking to my office right away, I end up gesturing to Persian to join me in the office. I keep the door open, close it behind us, giving Kenny the stink eye of, don't breach the masquerade in my place. Rather not have a shit fit. That kind of look. Before I make myself a little bit more comfortable in my office, sitting upon a wood chair that honestly is a fold-up with it that would have ended up falling apart years ago if it wasn't for the use of duct tape and hopeful dreams.
How's your night been?
It's just good to be home.
Yeah,
But I do notice
been missing
that
you around here.
I missed you guys too. But I'm a little worried about you. You seem to be distracted a lot. I don't see you spend a lot of time on your phone.
No, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Tonight's gig is shit. Who booked them?
I think that was Jeb.
Oh, God. Really?
Look, I'm here to end up running the business end. If you had a problem with it, then you could have just as well, took the stage. It's not like I keep you around just for the looks, though that helps.
I've been trying to call Jessica for 3 days now. She's not answering her phone.
Right, she decides to go on a 3-day bender and not spend a dime here. That's fantastic.
And because I haven't heard from her, we're practicing without her, and now... The fuck? I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. What I'm gonna do if I have to replace another bassist.
Everybody wants to end up being the star, but nobody wants to put the work in.
I don't know. You probably don't want to hear my ramblings or anything.
You're in the office. I called you in for a reason.
Yeah, but is this, just business?
Well,
I don't know you
it's
anymore,
either
Dana.
it's either business, it's either me being concerned about you, or it's me trying to find a way to end up getting in your pants. There's three options.
That last one, I'm gonna have to pass. You're pretty and all, but
Your loss.
women aren't my type.
All right, now that we narrowed it down a little.
How long have we known each other, Dana?
Going on 5 years.
Damn, already?
I know, we're getting old.
Jesus. Don't remind me.
I look in the mirror every time and I end up seeing a new crow's feet growing out. At this point, I might be wearing corpse makeup just to end up hiding it.
Oh, God.
Come on, I look good in it.
You do look good in the corpse, but, I don't see it. I don't know what you're seeing.
I always see it. That's the worst part. I know the worst part is when everybody acts like they don't see it.
Girl,
Because
what?
then you feel like everybody's lying to you.
Where are these damn crow's feet? And she gets, red up in your face. I don't see a goddamn wrinkle on your damn
I sneak
face.
a kiss.
Oh, shit. Oh. Well, that's unexpected. I mean, I should have expected it, but I guess that's unexpected.
Dana in the back of her brain, the things I do to preserve the masquerade. Look,
I'm
Persian,
flattered.
you have to.
But
20% chance now, 1 up to 25. All right, I'll stop fucking with you. I need your head in the game, Persian. You play the band when you can, but you're here to end up helping out with the drinks and here move, and I can't have you on the phone all the time. And don't get me wrong, love seeing you work. And you being bent over here, tabled here, well, your phone's not involved in my brain. So, because that's not the case, and the phone is involved, I gotta be the boss bitch now. So I'm trying to find a way to do that delicately. She puts her fingers up in quotations.
Boss bitch Dana's not my favorite. I get it. I look, Dana, I get it.
What do you need from me?
Do you know a
Make this a
bassist?
little easier.
Or any musician? I don't give a fuck anymore. I just want him to be able to play. Hell, I'll switch to
Look
bass.
around.
I don't care.
No. If you end up doing that, you have to end up standing mostly still. And let's be honest, the guys like it when you end up doing that whole spinning bit and doing the windmill with your hair. Makes it all the right moves. You're a performer. You enjoy the music, you enjoy the flair, you enjoy the attention, and let's be honest, bass is set for somebody who is just sitting there in the corner, plucking away, on occasion moving, but is really there to just accent what's supposed to be front and center. Don't lower your star for another person just because you're wanting to end up making things run a little smoother. We push things. That's what we do. We shake the boat here. So, if you need the boat shaken, let me know. Now, if that's actually a problem that you're going to need a basis, I'll keep an eye out. I'll see what I can reach out for.
Please, if you know somebody, because I'm running out of leads. And I love this place, but I'm afraid I'm gonna like I don't want to move on. Like, this place is my life. Like, I
Persian.
love the feel of this place.
Persian. There'll always be a place for you here. And I'm not going to ask you to move on. I want you to be able to end up playing just as much. Okay? I like the performance. I love the act. I love the music. And I like the fact that when you're here performing on stage, revenue goes up by 25% for every hour you play. So it's in my best interest to keep your sweet ass on here stage every moment I can.
The tips are nice.
Benefits on one way or another. And look, you got only so long to end up here doing so. I want to make the world of it. And if we can end up doing that,
Can you play?
in high school, I used to end up knowing Smoke on the Water. I could probably do something.
To be fair, I haven't seen you headbang in quite some time, girl.
When you gotta take your mind off the music and the drinks and start worrying about the tabs, and not the guitar riffs, when I say that, there's a problem. Okay. You want to play? I'll end up doing so tonight. Just for shits and giggles. Why not? It's a slow night. We can have some fun.
Hey, at least it gets you out of the office for a bit. And maybe actually get some good music going. And who knows? Maybe it'll turn into a jam session one day.
Yeah, something like that. She gets up from her office. All right. Let's just make a half hour of it and see what we can do.
Cool. We can play Smoke on the Water.
Please, we can do something a little heavier than that.
And she opens the door to the office and leaves the office with you in tow. Meanwhile, Ken, what are you doing? If you're saying something,
Hey, boy, we can't hear you.
do not hear you.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, but more importantly, you're not slinging drinks or moving glassware.
You dirty bitch. Okay. So Ken, there wasn't a good time for me to interject. Before he would have got there, he would have tried to heal some of the more obvious wounds.
Okay, I'll
And
allow
then-
it. Go ahead and rouse for it. Oof. Getting hungrier, Mr. Tanaka.
He's not going to push too much tonight, but he just wants to close some of the more obvious things. The rest are stapled shut. He'd throw on a band t-shirt and or a hoodie of some kind and go and take his place behind the bar. Just, Ted, what do I do? Basically.
Who the fuck are you?
Ted
I'm the
remembers.
new guy.
I ended up hiring him earlier. We did end up interacting beforehand.
Yes,
Just in
Ted.
case the
Yeah.
SD.
Yes, Ted is fucking with him.
I'm the new guy.
The new guy.
Yes, the one that's pretty but can't make a fucking drink. That you have to try to mold into something.
Oh, great. Welcome to the Armory. You are going to... Your station is technically called Barback. And you're going to get me the things that I need when I need them. Capiche?
Gotcha. You call it out, I'll grab it.
Perfect. Now, what I need you to do is go to the back, to the break room, and get Jeb off of his fucking ass.
You can do that. And I would march back to Jeb.
And, you know, he's an older gentleman. He kind of looks like he fits this particular aesthetic. He's also kind of a grungy person. He's got his feet kicked up at the table in the back, kind of browsing on his phone.
You, Jeb?
Yeah, who are you?
I'm Ken. I'm the new guy. Ted said he needs you out front.
I'm on break. Still got like 10 minutes.
I don't think he really cared.
Jesus Christ. Alright. He puts his phone in his pocket and gets up from his seat, kind of stretches a little bit, and goes back toward the front. He's got you being his bitch now.
I need to learn everything I can. If he tells me to go get you, right now, I'm the bitch.
Wow. Already got you trained.
I haven't been around long enough to show my ass yet, so...
Pretty boy like you. You can't tell me that Dana didn't hire you just to be eye candy, right?
Considering I can't make a fucking drink, I'm sure that's why she hired me.
Yikes.
But I can learn.
Whatever. And Jeb's gonna go back up to the front and do some things for Ted, and you are just going to shadow for a little while?
Yeah, just grab whatever he needs, wash glasses whenever they're piling up.
Mm-hmm.
If, like, they're swamped and, like, there's just simple, like, opening beers for them, just whatever he can do.
Yeah, it doesn't get particularly swamped tonight, and so you're doing a lot of organizing, a lot of carrying buckets of ice, a lot of bringing new bottles out to fill the front shelf, those kinds of things. Just kind of running the little errands while Ted is the one actually doing the mixing. And he's pretty proficient at it, actually. He's very He's very nimble-fingered. You see that he uses each of the instruments in a very calculated kind of fashion. But you see that he hardly cracks a smile. And when you and Jeb are back in the back doing some dishwashing, Jeb kind of looks over to you kind of quietly. So what do you think of Ted?
It's strange how he never cracks a smile, but he's good at what he does. I think I could learn something.
He doesn't give you creepo vibes?
If creepo vibes were enough to scare me away, I probably would have never walked into this place.
Touche. I don't know. He just rubs me the wrong way. I never liked him.
Well, most people say that about their higher-ups.
Not me, dude. Like, I've had good relationships with past bosses. This guy's just weird. So,
We're all weird in our own ways.
Whatever. Just, I thought I'd throw that out there. You have fun.
I'll try.
And Dana, as you're coming out of your office, you do hear a knock at the back door of the armory, the back exit. The one where you get most of your shipping.
It's the goddamn late. What the hell took this so goddamn long? This better be my goddamn Hennessy. And she goes back to open the door.
Does she see Rodney when
Rodney would be obfuscated, which I do believe I need to roll for.
Yeah, if you're using unseen passions, yes.
Absolutely. Do a rouse check. Cool. So yeah, he's using unseen passage. And when he sees the door open, he kind of steps out of it. Hi.
Oh, God. Swear to God, if I wasn't already dead, you'd give me a goddamn heart attack, Rodney.
Well, I needed to make sure that it was you or Ken first.
And if it was somebody else, would you have eaten them?
No, I wouldn't have shown myself at all.
I'm holding you to that.
Despite what you might think, I'm not an idiot, and I like my head attached to my body. I have some questions for you that I would like to get sorted before the night continues, if that is still right.
I'm due on stage in about 3 minutes.
I will make this quick then.
You said quick. You said quick. Come on, Rodney.
Colin Thresh. What do you know about him?
That's not a name you just blurt out. Okay. ST.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already forgetting. Have I actually already rolled for Colin Thresh?
I don't recall, but I'll let you roll it again, even if you haven't.
I will rouse the blood. And that. And that's going to be make it +3. I am willing to willpower reroll 3 of those. Ouch. 5 successes.
Ooh, very nice. He's old. You know that much. He's gangrel. You know that much. He has never really been much of a leader type, but the crew that you did follow with when, there were separate crews amongst the Anarchs, they kind of looked up to him. They, amongst Belle, amongst her sire, amongst a couple of others, the lot of you kind of followed Thresh's lead in attacks and things of that sort. It's possibly on his intel that led you all to make the attack so long ago that you did on your sire's vehicle, only to find that it was manned by the sheriff. But he's old. Founding of the city old.
Alright, well, few things you need to end up knowing. Outside of the fact that he's older than the dirt that you're currently standing on. You're dealing with... I know that he's Clan Gangrel, I know he runs a little wild, and I know that almost every Anarch in the city kind of looks at him as a big brother.
So
Yeah,
he's
kind of.
capable of uniting the Anarch movement then?
More than capable, he's most likely. I just never expected that to be his style.
What do you mean?
Big brother usually gives you tidbits, pat on the back. When they're involved, you feel like everything will go all right. But Big brother doesn't helicopter papa you around, and usually it's our own thing. Now all of a sudden you're, telling me that everybody's going behind Thresh? He's turning into the big bad Baron?
So you don't believe that he would be the one uniting everything? That's what I needed to know.
I think it's possible. I think it's completely possible. Not because of him, but because of everybody else. There is a stern difference of perception of what somebody wants to do and what everybody else wants you to do.
I see.
And Dana,
That's all.
you also recall that you've heard a name be said amongst the Anarchs before, though. Particularly when it came to Gregory. That there's a name Tyler.
Yeah, I don't think I need to roll to know that name.
No, you were very aware of who that is. And you've heard that name several times since rejoining the Camarilla.
Was there a woman with him nearby? You're talking like as if you met the guy.
No.
No woman near him?
I'm running off a hunch, and he points to his own hunch. I'm running off of some information that I received.
Okay, well, let me put it to you another way then. If things have changed, I can only think of one reason that might be. At least for what I know. But it's not a kind of history that you're probably accustomed to. Does the name Tyler mean anything to you?
Does the name Tyler mean anything to me?
That would be a. I'm gonna call that a wits academics.
Oof.
No, it's too generic of a name.
I can't say that I know that name. Why?
Tyler is a big freaking deal in the Anarch circles. I'm not talking about small time. I'm talking about Tyler shows up anywhere in your state, every camera is pissing themselves.
So you think this person, Tyler, might be involved?
It's a name going around. It's a name going around. And that's what we're. Look, Tyler, Elders, Archon, doesn't matter. I heard about some stuff about them being up in Chicago, but their name's coming down here. And that name has a lot of weight amongst Anarchs. A lot of weight. I mean, God, how do I even explain this to you? You are dealing with the poster child of the Anarch movement. You want a basic in, you talk Theo Bell, and you talk Tyler. And you'll end up running across hundreds. Theo Bell didn't seem to end up giving two shits. Tyler, on the other hand, ended up doing a fair amount up in Chicago. Since, what did they call it? Convention of Thorns back in the 1500s. I don't know. It's only kind of explained to me a little bit. Most of it's just passed on stories. But you tell us Tyler's coming, I guarantee you everybody's going to show up for that show.
Even if there's no proof that Tyler will actually be there.
You're talking about what is effectively a legend. On the chance that they'll show up, I know a lot of people will end up trying to cross everything but sunlight to see it.
And Thresh is a big figurehead.
Thresh
Would it be
is
possible
everybody's
for
big
somebody?
brother.
Would it be possible for somebody to be manipulating those two names to get people to work together?
Possible. But you think somebody hasn't thought of that already?
Who knows? Who knows? Thank you. This is all I wanted to know. Yes.
Rodney, I gotta get going.
Yes.
Just next time. You know what? It's fine. sort something else out so I know that you want my attention at my place of business now. She's trying to figure out a way to end this conversation without social niceties, and she's clearly at a loss for words. For once for Dana.
Rodney's just like, have a good evening. And he starts to glide back into the shadows. He's going to obfuscate again.
Okay.
Closing the door, locking it. Oh, thank God! I thought I was gonna throw up.
You're getting hungrier, Mr. Drummond. All of
Yes.
this obfuscating and staying out of sight.
He is now going to go find himself some dinner because hunger.
You stay away from my armory, you little shit.
Not my flavor. Not my flavor. He will head out to some of the more quiet areas of their domain to see if he can't find a sleeping person to snack on.
Alright, well, that just leaves Ken and Dana to go about their own business. So, Dana, you're going to be playing with Persian for a little bit. Ken, are you going to do anything?
If there's nothing else to be done, Ken would probably be flipping through one of the little manuals that it's like a drink menu, like how to make drinks basically, and trying to memorize some of the classics. And he's just trying to learn the job basically.
I'm gonna laugh when Ted ends up trying to end up overcomplicating and making do this roundabout thing specifically to make a Boilermaker. Ken having no idea what a Boilermaker is. But yes, I believe I will join. Do I have any bonuses because I'm working with Persian on this?
Yes, you would be able to get a +1.
Okay. Performance charisma, I presume?
Yes.
Okay. And... okay. And I'm willing to spend willpower on that. Derek diced it. But 3. 3 is competent. Or a little bit more than competent. It's not a wow performance,
But it does
despite me throwing damn near 10 dice at it.
But it does get the patrons who are present, and Persian as well, kind of eyeballing you as like, huh, was not expecting that. You know, because Dana's actually fairly good at playing, and Persian doesn't necessarily have to do much to compensate for you, and overall, the half hour that you two spend playing, singing, jamming, rocking, even headbanging is enjoyable. It's been a while since you've been on stage.
Yeah, it's been too long. I think way back when me and Belle met on something like this. I haven't thought about that night in forever. I think that's honestly why I stopped playing. You know, it's strange when you think you're gonna have forever.
And then all of a
Then
sudden you
suddenly
don't.
I'm just letting the bass ring out. Plucking away with my fingers. Feeling the thickness of cord. And just kind of closing my eyes and just losing myself on it. I can still see the stage lights through my eyelids. You know, was never much of a front woman like Persian, but well, I guess we could all dream once in a while. Guess that's not happening again, or ever in this case. Masquerade and all. Try not to think about these little things, but I think this is the closest that most kindred actually dream. It's playing pretend at something. Pretending you're at a concert. Pretending you're playing an instrument in front of a crowd. Pretending that you're a star or a fierce negotiator or... well, that's just it, isn't it? It's all pretend. Because we can't be that anymore. We're just existing, wheeling away in secrets and hiding what we are and pretending every step of the way that we don't have it in us to just eat everybody in the vicinity. I wasn't lying when I said I like Persian, but it's not that she doesn't swing that way that hurts. It's the fact that I'm more attracted to her in the same way you're attracted to a perfectly seared steak or a bottle of wine.
A delicious meal. Can't help but wonder if you can taste the passion and the adrenaline that courses through her veins right now. Would it be so bad to taste that? Feel that? The only way that you can truly anymore? You still feel these things, but they feel dull in comparison to how you used to feel when you were alive. Knowing that Ted killed the person that Persian's been looking for. Knowing that she's upset that she hasn't been able to contact Jessica in a little while. And you're keeping that from her.
That also gave me the chance to play. I wouldn't be on this stage right now if it wasn't for Ted.
It's true.
I wouldn't be having this moment to pretend again if it wasn't for Ted. I don't think I would have it in me. Go ahead.
Could one be truly thankful to a monster like that? He killed a woman. A woman you know.
Yeah.
She doesn't she doesn't get to keep existing like you do.
No. No, it's not fair. It's never fair. And it's not fair because I didn't choose this for myself either. I didn't choose. So, yeah. That's a monster. I know exactly what type of person he is, and he has a better understanding of what type of person I am. More accurately, he's the closest to understanding that I'm not a person anymore. Not in the way everybody else sees it. But I think that's also the thing that keeps me human. Because even a monster like him is still human. So, I get to play pretend that I'm still human.
While this is going on at the Armory, we're gonna quickly switch gears and see where it is that Malice ended up. Malice, you were going towards that little shack on the river. Thankfully, nestled in a place that is right on the river and kind of out of sight. And no one would be the wiser that you all are here. And you're here with Mercy.
As we get into the drive up to the shack on the river, Malice is going to Oblivion Sight.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sense the Unseen.
Okay. Oblivion Sight allows you to see in the dark, yes?
Right, with no penalties.
Okay. And then Sense the Unseen, you're looking for evidence of people present?
Possible magic presence that's been around.
Mm-hmm.
Or sigils, that kind of thing. Or someone attempting to obfuscate the area.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll your Sense the Unseen roll.
Okay. Okay. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
All right. Alright. So 4 successes is where your keen senses for that thing that's unseen. You don't see anything of a magical sense, which is good. Nothing comes across your senses as something that's meant to be hidden away. Nothing that the ordinary eye can't see is present here.
No ghosts.
No
There's
ghosts.
none that I can see.
No ghosts.
All right.
Though anytime that you do that, anytime that you do sense the unseen, you can't help but get a weird vibe. Like it still feels like Magdalen's place. It still feels like her, if that makes any sense. It doesn't necessarily
Yes,
happen that much when you aren't using your keen senses through aspects. It only happens when that's true, and you get that same almost residual feeling when you look at Mercy with those eyes. Only seems slightly off, as if Magdalen's suffused the place. It's faint. It's not like there's a ghost. But just that everything feels like hers.
right.
See anything?
Not yet. And Mercy, if she's paying attention, will see a slight shiver run up Alice's back as he looks at her. Those dark, liquid black eyes.
What?
It's like she's still here.
You know,
Like it's all hers.
I kind of get that feeling sometimes too. Like, she's gone, right? Like
No.
I feel like sometimes I have to question that because I feel like she's still up there. Like she's still in my head trying to, hold on, do something.
She's running around in your head trying to get out, trying to take control.
I don't even think it's like that. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. Everything feels just slightly off ever since that night, Malice. I
Yeah.
try to ignore it because it's not important. It's just, I guess, something I gotta get used to for the rest of my eternity or whatever. If that's how it's gonna be, then so be
That
it.
is important. Sis, that is important.
Not nearly as important as what's going on across the pond, across this damn river.
But that's not what I'm saying. Yes, that's important, but so is your well-being.
I'm
If
not.
she were to take control, you wouldn't be you no more.
I don't even think it's like that, Malice. It's just that, you know how before it's like I hear her voice when I get hungry. Like she's whispering behind me like I should go get something to eat or something. Like she always did.
Like she's the voice of that darker part of us, drives us, pushes us.
I don't know.
Eat,
Maybe.
defeat, home.
I can't, like I said, I can't explain it. I don't. Look, forget I said
Given
anything about it.
Malice, given Malice's knowledge of the occult and diablerie, is it possible that she's still there trying?
That would be a wits plus occult.
It's occult. One, 2, 3, 4, 6 critical.
6 on a critical.
Yeah.
You would be aware that diablerie is tricky business on the best of days. That
Right.
the reason that it is seen as taboo is because of how degrading it is to one's sense of self. Now,
Right.
whether you believe in a soul or whether you believe that that is just part of what makes you human, or whether you believe that that is the continued degradation that every kindred feels of their personhood. Whatever it is you
Right.
believe about that, something happens that perhaps, based on the testimonials that you've heard about, the rumors you've heard about, that such things are taboo because they can manifest personality traits of the person they diablerized.
Right.
Now, whether you believe that that's a full takeover of one person's soul to another, then that's still left up for debate for many kindred occultists. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes the person who diablerizes is, or seems to be, a completely different person after the fact. And it's
Never
a
the same.
very, and regardless of how little or how much that changes, that person's never the same again.
Right.
And you know, for damn sure, because you watched it happen, that Mercy drank down Magdalene until she was dust.
And the physical body's gone, but maybe a piece of her spirit remains. Essence of who she was in you. Her physical body's gone, but I don't know. Something to keep an eye on.
I don't know what to tell you, Malice. It's not like I feel wildly different. It's just I'm always looking over my shoulder, like I think she's there or something. And then when
Yeah.
I look, she's not.
The thing about diablerie, it's never quite the same. It's wildly unpredictable at best. But whomever does deed is never the same after.
I knew the risks when I did
Can
it.
be
You explained to me the
Malice
risks
will
when I did
continue
it.
walking. Malice continues walking to the door, talking with Mercy.
I'm glad she's gone. And if I have to live with occasionally looking over my shoulder, make sure she's not there, so be it. She deserved what she got.
As far as I know, she's dust and ash, and she can't ever touch anybody again.
Good riddance, too.
The main reason Malice came here tonight was to look through the ingredients stock, make sure none of that is missing, as well as to look at their stash of feeding supplies and see if they need to re-up as well.
Okay. Then go ahead and make me a... if you're willing to spend a while on this, you can make a resolve investigation. Otherwise, if you want to be fast, it's going to be wits.
No, Malice wants to be thorough because he had a well inventoried stock of what she had left as well as what he had procured himself. And he wants to be as thorough as possible to make sure that nothing has gone missing from their ingredients for rituals, as well as what he knew of what little he knew of what she was working on with Joseph. And then to check the underground passage to make sure nobody has been coming in or out, or marked it the same way he was checking outside up top.
Okay. Yeah, if you're going to be that thorough, then it's a resolve investigation, and you get a +1.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 successes.
All right. As far as the tunnel system that that Magdalene had built for this place, it seems relatively untouched besides the two of you who have used it off and on throughout the past few weeks. You look through your ingredient stores and your food stores, and food stores seem to be running a little low. And Mercy would tell you that she's good for the moment, but stocking up soon would make things easier in the near future. She's okay for tonight, but she goes a couple more days and she's gonna need to feed again.
Yeah. Okay. So food stores are a bit low. You go stock up. And how was the ingredients?
The ritual ingredient stores are untouched aside from what you've taken over the last few weeks.
Okay, so other than what I've taken to do the homuncular servant with Katerina, nothing's been touched.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well then, I guess it's best we lock up and resupply for feeding. I'm all right myself this evening, but
yeah, me
things
too.
have been going recently. Yeah. So you want to head to the hospital, or do you, or the hospital, or want to see if we can find something somewhere else?
The hospital might be stepping on Katarina's toes, right?
I do that quite frequently, so
I know that you and her have
I
been, on shaky ground the last couple of days. What's all that about?
she's a means to an end. Outside of
She's a
you and
means to an end,
Bastion,
or you're a means to an end?
well, that's a two-way street, darling.
I mean, everything's a two-way street.
She's a means to an end for me. You know, outside of you and Bastion, there's nobody that's actually family to me.
Even though Katarina says they were family.
According to Katarina and everybody else I've dealt with in our, hell, I don't even know what you call us. We ain't exactly a clan. They might call us one, but mishmash of what we are. Everybody's considered family, and we're all cousins. They put it. You know
Cousins or
me.
something? Yeah.
You know me. Actual blood is family. It don't hurt to pay lip service to it.
But that's the thing,
Mm.
isn't it? We're all blood now.
You and me. Uh, you and me were blood before this. And, well, I guess through Magdalene, still blood. Are any of the rest of them really blood?
Like, I get it. You're not trusting of them. I'm not either. That's not what I'm saying.
Mm.
But like, what are
I'm
we?
loyal
If
to yeah, undead things cursed to feed the blood of others.
but what
The rest
different
of our
from the
lives.
others? We got fucked up teeth
Yeah.
because of them.
Yeah, we can't hide what we are behind a smile like everybody else. I'm told by Katarina that's thanks particularly to what Magdalene is or was. Hakata, well, we're not exactly blood of the Hakata, but they accept us as blood.
I don't
We
I don't get what the distinction is. I'm just saying that, we're different from them, which are different from every other goddamn kindred in this city. We're kind of alone
well,
here,
so many
Malice.
are too. That's why we got each other.
Is that gonna be enough?
Now it's gonna have to be. Damn sure don't want Bass or Therese or Savannah in on this.
No, I don't. I don't mean them. Nothing. I don't know what I'm getting at.
Right now, I'm going along to get along and learn as much as I can. That's
Don't
what I
fuck
mean
that
by
up
she's a
for
mean
yourself.
spoon.
You want to know all this
I
hooky
don't
boogie
intend
shit,
to.
and I don't. So don't fuck that up for
It's,
yourself, because Katarina's the only one who said that she's gonna teach you any of that.
I do the best I can. I try to remember my manners and show respect when I can. Beyond that, I said it's I don't trust none of these other bloodsuckers.
You shouldn't trust me neither. I'm one of those bloodsuckers. Just like you.
Maybe I shouldn't, but can't help myself. What we've been through, before and after. Aside of you, the only person I have any trust in or any faith really is Spencer.
He's an oddball
Trust
too.
Rodney to an extent.
Ain't it oddball that
trust
one of our
Rodney.
hounds is a damn brouhaha? Don't get me wrong.
Could have just
He's
as
great to work for. But sometimes I wonder
Coulda
about that
just as-
temper.
You could have just as easily been picked up by the brouhaha yourself.
Hell no.
You got a bit of that. You got a bit of that temper in you.
I don't know about that.
I seen it.
You full of shit.
I seen it.
You're so full of shit.
Oh, full of shit.
Full of shit.
Really?
Yeah. I'm composed.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. You're damn straight.
More than brouhaha. Most of the time. It's only
Please,
when you
Lord,
start
forgive me for
questioning
speaking
them,
ill of our hound.
Oh, that's not speaking ill. No, he's got that testy temper. Just get to question him a little bit and
That ain't a
you
bear
don't
I'm
feel
gonna
like
poke.
what you don't think he ain't right.
Nope. That ain't a bear I'm gonna poke. And you know it. I know where my place is. My place is
That's my
invisible and not make any waves. I just do what I'm told.
I guess that's my problem, as Bass puts it. I don't know my own place. I question every damn thing.
You're a damn investigator. That's what you are.
I gotta question everything. It's like I told Bass, everything's a puzzle. I gotta know how the pieces fit.
That's not how family works, Malice. Family ain't a puzzle to
Didn't say that.
solve.
People that are part of it all. What makes them tick? What makes them work? Not like I can actually take him apart to find out, but you know.
Don't you fucking dare either.
That'd be a bloody mess, and I damn sure wouldn't want to clean it up.
No, because you can make me clean it up. You damn
You've
fool.
done enough of that. You've done enough of that. I don't want to leave you clean up anything after me. I'm pretty good at that on my own. You can ask Kenny about that.
You know I'd do anything for you, right?
Do. Just as I would for you.
Then quit putting your foot in your mouth when it comes to Bastion. Just listen. Don't ask him questions. Just listen. Anyway, are we done here?
We're on our way to the hospital.
And you're
we
going to go
on our feeding.
And you're going to go raid the food stores of the other Hakata?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be a feeding scene.
Yes.
Which we will cover very briefly. So, how do you plan to steal from the Hakata?
I still work here, don't I?
You do. So you have your credentials and your access.
Well, I'm gonna go in like I'm checking on some of my cases. No, I still got 2 or 3 still pending. So, check on my cases.
Okay. And what is your intent in doing so?
Take enough to get 2 or 3 pots worth of food as I can.
Okay.
Or Mercy and I.
Without being caught.
Yeah.
So it's a total of 6 dots. So 3 for each?
Yes.
Okay. So that is going to be a little tougher.
Right.
So, because you have to find the containers to supply all those things. You have to walk out of the place with all of those, and get away without being really noticed. So, finding containers isn't hard. It's more about looking like you're not suspicious. So I'm going to call this a composure and stealth.
Composure stealth.
For this feeding roll.
Okay. Okay, composure.
Let me actually see if Mercy can help you. No, she has no dots in stealth.
Alrighty. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's a bestial crit.
Oh! How many successes?
Yeah. 4, 5, 6. And there's no way for me to re-roll that because both the 10s are on blood die. Yeah.
Well, first of all, there is a compulsion, Malice.
Oh, God.
Oh, what is the... What is the Hakata compulsion?
Is it the clan? It is...
I may call for it.
It is either to predict the death of someone or to find the cause of death and investigate the cause of a death. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate, just within the realm of possibilities. To do anything else other than that is at a 3 dice penalty.
Okay, that doesn't really apply in this instance. Malice, you're getting snacky. You can't think of anything else but just gobbling some of this right now.
I'm sure there's a heart in here somewhere.
Yeah, you're pretty sure. And you're
Liver,
pretty sure it's pretty
kidney.
fresh, too. There's a fairly fresh corpse that's not part of one of your cases that you know about, and that if you're quick enough about it, you might still get some of that juicy, delicious resonance out of it. Something that you miss tasting, drinking old blood.
Alright, snack time.
Okay, so how do you go about getting your snack, sir?
As quietly and stealthily as possible.
Well, the big drawback
Is anybody working on it now?
The drawback about that is that yes, somebody is working on that corpse right now. That's why it kind of picked up on your senses. You are silent as a mouse. You are silent and composed as one should be in this particular setting. However, this is where the messy crit comes in. Instead of simply injecting yourself into the investigation and swiping the heart from this autopsied individual, you make a show of it by taking the heart first, directly out of the corpse. No scalpels, no maneuvering. You just reach your hand in, compulsed to pull it out, and take a big bite right in front of one of your colleagues. And oh, it juices like an apple. Oh, it tastes so good. Let's see. I'm going to guarantee that there's a resonance here. So let's see how strong and which one. Actually, I'm just going to say which one. And then we're going to roll and see. Well, yeah, let's roll and see how strong it is first. It's there. It's tasty. And then, what resonance is that? But you, my friend, are walking away with a heart in hand as if you were biting into an apple in front of a colleague. Mercy tried to stop you by calling out to you, but however, not successful in distracting you long enough before you chomped. What do you do? Your colleague is staring at you as you're doing this, as you're walking away with this heart in hand, munching on it.
Did I notice the colleague staring at me? Or am I too engrossed in...
You were so engrossed by the fact that you wanted to feast on your snack that you would have been at a penalty for a wits awareness anyway. Or a wits insight. So, no, I don't... Okay. I think that might have slipped your mind a little bit.
What kind of penalty am I at on wits awareness?
It would have been a -2.
-2, so just wits.
It
was only 2 successes, so I doubt I noticed anything.
You noticed he was there. You didn't particularly care much.
I knew it was there when I took it.
And you're tasting the sadness of this person. They must have been suffering from some kind of degenerative disorder because they're very sad.
Melancholy. Okay.
So it's there. It's not super strong, but it does taste of it. You kind of get that dreary, prolonged, kind of just suffused sadness, but it's not intense in any way, like a sudden loss of any kind. It's a prolonged thing.
Yeah.
And your colleague calls out to you and says, "What the fuck?" And that is where we're going to pick up next time.
Oh, shit.
Because I think that's an interesting place to pick up on next session, because I sadly need to go to bed. And I don't have time to do a whole scene in regards to that. But
That's alright.
But
Oh no, Malice.
It is nice not being the only one that can screw up a feeding scene.
Not an if, but a when.
But a win. Exactly.
I'm
Yep.
aware.
Yep. Just munching on the heart like it was an apple. This is Malice.
Hey, let's see if Rodney fucks up too next session. He's also got to feed.
Oh,
So yeah, that is where we're going to pick up
didn't have
next
to.
session.
I didn't actually have to feed tonight. That was not my intent.
Oh no. Oh no.
That was the compulsion.
Yep.
Oh no.
You were the one who decided to go ahead and chomp anyway.
I'm not fighting that compulsion. There's no way I can fight it.
Well, you do satiate one hunger from it, and your compulsion is satisfied. So you don't have to worry about that next session.
No, I got other things to worry about next session.
You want to call Ken to help you get rid of a body?
It could be Don Luca who comes down and says, "What the fuck's going on in my hospital?"
Yeah, I got Mercy with me. If I got to get rid of something now, Mercy will be the closest asset. Boy.
Oh, you
Yeah,
delightful
shit.
little bastards. I love you all. But yes.
Wait, if I get my desire succeeded, I can clear the aggravated will damage, right?
You can, yes. Did you fulfill your desire today?
Yes, my desire was to not frenzy.
Sweet.
I also think I fulfilled my desire finally because
Beautiful.
Rodney got information on Ken.
Nice. Beautiful. Love it.
You're welcome.
Love to see it.
Yes, thank you.
I will fill you in on what that is.
Yeah, please.
So, did Dana
We'll do it after stream.
did Dana fulfill any desire?
Nope.
Oh, boo. Oh well.
And I'll be
I
right back
did.
because apparently my cats are fighting now.
Oh no. Go take care of that.
No. I did. At least for the moment, I survived.
Woo!
He has so many questions now.
Yes.
So many.
Love it. So we'll pick up there next session. But in the meantime, we do have some experience to dish out. So, everybody gets one. Congratulations.
Woo!
And I'm going to get the poll started, but you guys can deliberate about who had the best scene, who moved our plot, and who had the best line. So, plot
Best
mover.
line goes to Rodney.
Eh,
Yeah, it's
Why do you stutter so much?
That's not a question that he wants to answer.
I'm
Why?
sorry, Dana still had some good lines, but that was gold.
The thing was, I wasn't even sure you were doing it on purpose. I think you kind of stumbled into it. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going with it.
The
Right?
thing about Rodney is, when I'm playing Rodney, sometimes his brain just shuts down, and it causes my brain to shut down as well. So yeah, a lot of the times when it's Rodney's brain just not working.
Yes, that's called immersion.